Hi, today we are going to be diving into our first example of writing on the AP US History exam. We're going to look at a short answer question about transatlantic voyages. As a quick review, the short answer question is the second part of the AP exam. I have a whole video more about the short answer question where I dive into some strategies, and I will link that above. So check that out if you want more details and explanations on this. But basically, what you need to know is that it's going to be 20% of your total score, and you have about 13 minutes per question to write if you divide it equally. Each point on the short answer question is scored independently, which means you can answer part A and part C and get 2 out of 3 points, even if you don't answer part B. So you don't have to earn the first point to get the next ones. They are independent. And one of the biggest things that I see when grading AP exams is that people don't describe enough. They might name drop or have a term written, but if you don't explain it, you have a harder time getting the point. So please make sure to focus on that when writing. My top 3 tips, which I'm going to go really quickly through, is to use evidence. So you need to have specific persons, places, and events when you are asked for it. And a lot of times they will ask for a specific piece of evidence. Um, you can answer them in any order. So let's say when you're reading the 4 options for your short answer questions, you could answer number 3 first if you wanted to. And then make sure to be direct. 2 to 4 sentences is enough. I see some students writing a massive paragraph for part A and then having very little room to answer part B and C. And so you want to make sure that you are remembering it's a short answer question and you can be direct. Other tips is you don't have to label if you don't want to. The readers know it's a first draft. You don't need a thesis, but make sure you're writing in complete sentences. And really do attempt all parts of the question as long as you have time. Sometimes it's surprising how low the bar is, and you can sneakily get a point easily sometimes. Okay, some notes specifically about period 1 on the exam. There is no question in the short answer section that will be only about period 1. If we go back really quickly and see the 4 questions, the first one is going to be from period 2 to period 8, and that is the same for the second question. The third question can cover content from period 1, but it wouldn't only be from period 1. It would bleed into period 2, maybe even also period 3. So question number 3 is the only one in this section that could address period 1. So this question that I've created is purely hypothetical, and it's really just for practice. So I looked at what the College Board is focusing on in this unit, and it's really the historical thinking skill of causation. And so here's one of the learning objectives that addresses that. Explain the effects of the development of transatlantic voyages from 1491 to 1607. So, this is what I used as my foundation for creating the prompt. So, for our practice prompt, here's your whole thing parts A, B, and C. Briefly explain how one specific event or development led to transatlantic voyages in the period of 1491 to 1607. So, there's your cause. And then B is briefly explain one specific result of transatlantic voyages in the period of 1491 to 1607. And part C is to explain another specific result. So those are your effects. So that's where we're dealing with the cause and effect of the College Board with a lot of questions that they want you to answer. So I encourage you right now to pause this video and actually attempt this question. Take the time to write out your answers or at least think through what you would potentially write about. So I'm going to give you a sample response for part A. If you remember, this is where we're talking about the cause of transatlantic voyages. We want to brainstorm some causes. We know that religion, trade, and technology are some of the reasons why these voyages occurred. Now, if you need some help thinking about what answers or what these actually are, I've got another video that addresses these, so you could review that right now if you wanted to. So we've got our potential causes. Our next step then is to plan. We just need to state our evidence and explain it. So here's an example of something that would earn the point. During the 16th century, European countries, fueled by competition for trade, began searching for new routes by water to Asia. Explorers such as Christopher Columbus and Francisco Pizarro sought to increase their wealth and bring glory to their empire and traveled across the Atlantic in hopes of reaching Asia. So there we had a two-sentence response. You can see that there's specific evidence and it was explained clearly, focusing on the cause of trade being the reason for the transatlantic voyages. Parts B and C are focused on the effects or the results of these voyages. So, again, I have another video detailing these effects, but really, whenever you think of effects, a lot of times an easy way to categorize them is economic, social, or political. So, you'd want to pick one of those and address it by stating your evidence and explaining it. Very simple. So, here's a sample response. A major effect of transatlantic voyages was the Columbian exchange. Plants, animals, and diseases were transferred across the hemispheres. Europeans benefited from new crops, including potatoes and corn. However, American Indian populations were devastated by diseases, including smallpox and influenza. So here you could potentially actually have addressed B and C together. The Columbian Exchange is the only piece of specific evidence. However, by explaining the results in Europe and also the results in America, you would have given two specific results or effects of the voyage. So that could be a way sometimes people answer the question as just part A, and then they might do B and C together in a paragraph. Or you could have separated this and talked about the Columbian Exchange impact in Europe as part B, and then you could address it with American Indians as part C. So once you have written your responses, you then want to check your answers. Do you have specific evidence? Did you explain it? Did you fully answer the question? And if you labeled, did you label properly? If you complete these things, and your information is accurate, you're guaranteed to pass or to get the points for this question. So I hope that that was helpful to practice something for period one. Again, it's just purely hypothetical, as period one wouldn't be the only topic of a short answer question. So please like and subscribe if you like this video, and stay tuned for more practice writing.